Phoebe Dynevor's exit from Bridgerton ahead of Season 3 was disappointing, but surprisingly, Daphne's leave has also led to new opportunities for the season's lead, Colin. Based on Julia Quinn's Bridgerton book, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, Bridgerton Season 3 tells the story of friends to lovers, Colin and Penelope. Their season is unlike any other Bridgerton installment because Pen and Colin have a history that previous Bridgerton couples never had. Furthermore, Penelope's Lady Whistledown secret adds a layer of tension that increases the drama tenfold. Luckily though, these Bridgerton changes have only led to fresh moments that never would have happened before. Daphne's exit from Bridgerton brings subtle yet significant differences to the period drama. First and foremost, without Daphne, the Bridgerton family tree is never quite complete. Where the other 7 siblings are packed into the Bridgerton house, Daphne is a loose end. Furthermore, Daphne's absence means that the show has lost one of its wise advice givers. In Bridgerton Season 2, Daphne used her own romantic experiences to try and help Anthony navigate his journey for love. Though Colin cannot ask Daphne for advice in Season 3, her exit has actually led to a new and heartwarming change. Colin confides in Violet instead of Daphne in Bridgerton Season 3's romance story. Violet gets some of Daphne's spotlight in Bridgerton Season 3. One romancing Mr. Bridgerton detail is that Colin often confides in his sister Daphne when it comes to romantic troubles. However, with Phoebe Dynevor gone, the new advice giver character in Bridgerton Season 3 ends up being Violet Bridgerton. This is an unexpected change, but a good one. In Bridgerton Season 3, Colin and Violet share a few moments where Colin asks vulnerable questions about love and Violet gives him the perfect answer. Though the mother-son dynamic is quite different from the sister-brother one, it ends up being more heartwarming and more logical. Although Daphne has advice to offer as the first Bridgerton sibling to marry, Violet's advice makes more sense concerning Colin. Not only was Violet married far longer than Daphne, but her marriage was also one of friendship first. Where Daphne and Simon had a sudden, passionate love affair, Colin and Penelope's romance is a slow burn like Violet and Edmund's. Therefore, Violet is uniquely qualified to talk about Colin's romance. On top of that, Violet may have a better sense of who Colin is, especially since Daphne is younger than her brother. Violet's advice for Colin has a very different meaning from Daphne's perspective. Violet saw Colin and Pen's romance from the start. Though Daphne's pieces of advice would have been a nice addition to Bridgerton Season 3, Violet's means so much more because of her motherly perspective. Violet has watched her children grow up, and in turn, has seen parts of their lives play out over time. Namely, she has seen Colin and Penelope's friendship grow over the years, which gives her a different outlook on the situation than Daphne, who is rather isolated from the situation. Ultimately, Violet's role as Colin's advice giver makes much more sense than Daphne, making Phoebe Dynevor's Bridgerton exit partly a good thing. Indeed, while Violet's perspective comes from a place of authority, as she is Colin's mother and has his best interests at heart, knowing Colin's mind inside out, Daphne's opinion would have been one of a peer. With only 1 year between Daphne and Colin, Daphne's advice wouldn't have weighed as heavily as that of someone who knew Colin since his birth, instead being insightful because of their similar age but different status, with Daphne happily married to Simon. Violet and Daphne's different roles eventually made Violet's guidance Colin's best option, especially considering how directionless Colin felt in Bridgerton Season 3.